Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday, my friends. I hope you're doing well. And I'm really particularly talking to Jeopardy fans today, or anyone that has a yoga practice, or anyone that wants to develop a yoga practice, or anyone that listens. I'm talking to you. My question today is, where has all the wonder gone? Now, the reason I say I'm talking to Jeopardy people is, good morning, Lee, is because I've been kind of geeking out on Jeopardy lately. I don't know if you guys like this. Give me a like if you love Jeopardy. But there's the Greatest of All Times championship that I just found. I think it's on Hulu. And I've been really enjoying the intelligence and the brilliance and the challenging questions that are popping up in this championship. It's the greatest of all time. So these people that have just been dedicated, literally their whole lives have been surrounded around Jeopardy and either watching it as a child or being on it as an adult and winning millions of dollars. But as I'm watching all of these intelligent men answer these questions and go through these trivia facts and answer questions which always have answers, right? I'm just fascinated by the advancement, right, of how far we've come as humans, because we've had such a hunger as just a species in general. We've had such a desire to know things, to understand, to have answers, to be able to say that 1 + 1 is 2 and add things up, that the availability of information is always now, anytime we want, it's just right at our fingertips, right? Google knows everything. And if you have this desire to have to ask a question, right? If you have a question in your head, if something pops up, if you see a word that you don't know, or if you hear something that you want to understand a little bit more about, all you have to do is look it up. And that's all it is, right? And so it's like this moment of, I have a question, now I have an answer. And in between that space, maybe before the great equalizer of the internet, long before that, there used to be this space of wonder, this space of unknown, this time of, I don't have the answer. I don't know exactly what this exact right fact is, but I can really think about it and I can really wonder about it. And maybe I could do a little research in that old school world of the encyclopedia. Do you remember that? But now we have such access. Everything is at our fingertips. Now, I put a link to my free class today. Obviously, I'm going to wrap it back around because I always do. And my question is, especially for those of you who are going deep into any spiritual practice, whether it's yoga, whether it's Tai Chi. Oh, I love the hearts. Thank you, guys. Give me a little love. If you love Jeopardy, if you have a yoga practice, if you want to have spiritual awe in your life, right? Because even if you're learning yoga, right, or meditation or anything, you can go on the internet and you can see step-by-step tutorials on how to do something, right? In the specific biomechanics, on the specific anatomy, on even understanding what this like spiritual reach is to go to your meditation practice, to clear your mind, and to all these things. There's all these tutorials. Anything you could wonder about, you go and you Google it and boom, you have the answer. There doesn't have to be anymore this time of unknown. But as a teacher, and as somebody who continues to dive in and wants to continuously unfold layers of myself, which is an ongoing practice, right? I have to go to that place where there are no answers, right? And I invite my students to go to that place where the right from yesterday doesn't necessarily automatically transfer into the right of today, right? If down dog was your answer yesterday and it felt amazing on your hamstrings, but today it feels hard on your shoulders, then going onto YouTube and looking up a tutorial about down dog, it might not give you that empowerment to wonder or to go into that space of unknown about how to be in relationship to your body, how to be in a healthy dynamic where you learn to listen to the language of sensation. You learn to listen to what the body needs in the moment, right? Instead of looking at a two-dimensional picture on a page of a book or on the internet that tells you spread your fingers wide and put your shoulders over your wrists and turn your elbows forward. And those specific details are all about the how. But when I teach, I encourage people to really consider the what, the why, the how long, when will this be available for me? When will this be appropriate for me? How can I go into this space of wonder and invisibility, that, right, the mystery of what no one else can see, and have wonder in your life again, right? That's the kind of teacher that I want to be. That's really the student that I try to be, right? Is thinking that, all right, maybe because I had the answers 7 years ago, does not mean that I have the answers today. And so I have to come back into that place of humility. I have to go back into that place of surrender, right? And remembering that there's so much more out there that we don't know than all the facts that we can shove in the Urban Dictionary, right? Or all the definitions, or all the things that we can Google. Because truly, if you Google one thing and you get an answer that you're looking for, you could probably do a little bit more Googling and get the exact opposite answer. But so many of us take those first answers at face value and we just accept them as truth, and we let go of the wonder. We let go even of our own capacity to find the answer for ourselves, right? Because Google knows. So we don't have to wonder. We don't have to worry. We don't have to question anything. And my practice and the way that I like to teach is to invite questioning. Invite curiosity. Even if you've done 1,000 sun salutations in the last year, or you've done 1,000,000 in your entire life, you've never done one today, maybe, or the way that I'll teach you, maybe, today for free in 2 hours at 10:30 Mountain Time. We do a free class, right, every week through March. But maybe you've never done it the way that your body wants to do it today, right? Or the way that you hear a cue in a totally different way that you've never heard it before today. And in that, right, there's space to not know. There's space to be in this nebulous, wondering situation, right? How many of you have just sat outside and looked up at the sky and gone, what is this mystery? Right? It's actually a little bit unsettling, especially when every other question that you have can be answered immediately. It's a little bit more controlling, right? As humans, we tend to need a little bit more fact, a little bit more assuredness that the world isn't going to fall out from underneath us. And so when we can continue to add things up, 1 + 1 is 2, and we can always feel like, whew, okay, it all made sense today, I can sleep at night. We actually cut ourselves off from this divine awe of being unknown, right? Of being a student, of being in that space of ever opening to curious things, ever opening to more information. And what I want to guide people into, and what I hope to, as a teacher, continuously evolve in my own practice and in my studentship, and then the students that are drawn to me, because I know not everybody is into this, right? I know a lot of students need to know exactly the same sequence and exactly the order and exactly the timing, and you got to have the exact same practice. And in that, there's a lot of freedom too. When you give yourself structure, there's a lot of freedom to grow and evolve. But I know that I never teach the same thing twice. So even if you were with me last week and we did our one sun salutation, today is going to be a completely different practice. And I can guarantee you that next week is going to be a completely different experience. And that's just the way that I am, right? I like to keep things fresh, but also I like to forget that I know things. And so when I'm in the moment, right, of a forward fold, even though I have done, I can't even begin to tell you how many forward folds in my life. You can call it Uttanasana, you can call it touching your toes, you can call it stretching your hamstrings, you can call it hinging at your hips. I usually call it 1,000 different things, so that there's always more to unfold from there. But every forward fold I do has something else to teach me today, about the body that I have today. Another thing that I notice a lot of yogis don't do is transition. And I mean in the phases, the life stages, right? As they're cycling through in their age, they tend to really double down and stick to what they know instead of letting their practice evolve and grow. And that's what I like to teach. That's how I like to empower. So if you want to explore a new version of a sun salutation every single week, right? It's just one. Because remember, the way that I practice is the way that you begin is so important. If you just go on autopilot and you do what you did yesterday thinking it's going to work the same way that it did, then you're going to wake up in a few years and realize, man, wow, my shoulder really doesn't handle chaturanga very well. I guess I shouldn't have done 7 years of those in between, right? I mean, there's lots of reasons for why shoulders hurt or for why things no longer work for you. But if you lose sensitivity to what your body is telling you, to what your heart wants, to what your mind thinks it knows, right? If you really attach and only align with and connect with what your brain knows, then you're missing a lot of other wisdom and a lot of other feedback that moment-to-moment practicing will really give you. So it's always an invitation, right, to be in that space of wonder. Go watch Jeopardy if you want to learn a lot of facts and to watch a lot of really cool human development and expression of intelligence and wisdom. But there's a different level of knowing that each of us can hold on to, each of us can embody, not in a grasping way, but in a way that we know that what I know today is going to be gone tomorrow, and the body that I have today, bless it, so grateful for its power and strength, is not going to be the same body that I have to work with tomorrow. So every sun salutation we do every week on Sundays, coming live in 2 hours, it's free, you just have to register for it. It's always going to be different. And everything that we get to explore is around a structure that is familiar, especially if anyone's ever told you to inhale arms up and exhale fold, right? It will be familiar, but inside of that container, there's so much to uncover, to discover, to journey inward to the source of you. That's what I teach. That's what Village Well is all about. My company, my mission, my legacy. My present state of offering. This is my service, and I love being able to show up for students who are ready to show up for themselves. Because it's not about dogma. It's not about me having the right answers. It's about you opening up to the wisdom that lives inside. And you've got to be present for that. You've got to learn how to be on your toes, agile, flexible, pliable, and sway, move like water in the flow of life. And let go of what you think you know, so that you can download new information, new experiences, new discoveries every single day. It doesn't have to be a moment on the top of a mountain where you see the light and you understand it all. It can happen over your morning coffee. I'm going to drink my morning dirt. I'm going to have a couple of hours getting some stuff done, and then I'll see you in 2 hours, 10:30 Mountain Time. Zoom live from your house. You're already right where you need to be. And it's accessible. I've hopefully taken out any excuses. It's for all levels. That means you, right from your home. Get comfortable. You don't have to have fancy pants. You don't even have to have a yoga mat. Just show up, and I'll help guide you. And you'll have the answers, right? But you have to let yourself wonder for a little while. Keep the wonder alive. Keep that mystery. Keep the curiosity in your world. I'll see you again soon. Register for class. It's at 10:30 Mountain Time. I love you guys. I want to practice. I want to grow with you. I want to see you all soon. And next week, we'll do it again, and it'll look totally different. And that's the beauty of growth. I love you so much. Happy Sunday. Have a great day. Bye.